So if I could, well, here I am. People would say I'm spoiled or something, My friend, some of my friends might say I don't work as hard as them, or I don't know, but that's just silliness because they don't know how hard I worked earlier to get to this. But that's really just a silly subjective argument or peeing contest. The main thing is, what is the most important thing I can do? Well, the most important thing I can do, I would say, has to do with the thing that hurts and bothers me the most, which is not being loved by a woman. It's a thing that takes me most of my motivation away. It's a thing that causes me the most depression for the most years, the most lack of motivation. It's the one thing that I want cured the most. Is I want a woman to care for me, to play with me, to want to be with me, to like me, to make time to interact with me. And I want to feel wanted by her, and I want her to feel wanted by me, and respected by me, and I want to feel respected by her. I want to feel desired and respected by a woman. I have lots of sex with her and have a lot of fun with her, and she's got to be a person and look beautiful like I want, and be an adventure and patient kind of a person, and someone who's seeking to be highest and most awesome. And I would love that. That would be heaven on earth for me, to have a companion to go through life with, that I want, where we love one another and make each other feel desired and excited. And to get that has just been basically not a possibility for some reason or another. All the women that I want and I go all out for don't go all out or all in for me. They just stay reserved and don't go all in, and they don't make me feel wanted or desired or even secure. How can you feel secure in a relationship with someone that you can tell doesn't really want you? I tried to explain it to Peachy, but she didn't want to understand, I guess. Or she didn't try to understand or care to understand. She just kept telling me that it was my fault that I didn't feel secure, that I needed to secure myself. And I'm telling her, look, I'm very secure in myself. That's not where my issue lies. I don't feel secure in the relationship. And that was because I could tell she wasn't all in for me and she didn't really want me. I even offered to pay her $1,000. Even if she could do it in 1 hour, she could make $1,000 in an hour. If she could make me even just feel wanted, really desired. I told her I'd give her $1,000, but she didn't try to do anything. She just ignored that offer. So I think what would really be the most important contribution I could do for the world would be something that helps fixes that problem, because that's the problem that ails me. And I don't really know how to fix that problem. It's going to be some sort of education. And parenting sometimes requires force. Sometimes you spank the child. And I don't know how to teach grown-up women who aren't my own children. I don't know how to teach females over the age of 18 and how to correct some of these bad behaviors that in a sense require a form of a spanking or a discipline or a force. It requires some force to be applied. I don't know how to do that in today's modern world without getting arrested or having them reject me forever or get a restraining order or anything like that. Certain behaviors require pressure or force to get out of a human, and there's no provision in today's world where they can just cry abuse. I don't see a provision in the world where you can wean bad behaviors out of grown women. I don't see how you could wean them out of men either, for the men that have them. So, does that mean it's impossible to do? No, it just means that our government and our society and our policing has eliminated the requirements and the provisions for doing such a thing. But it doesn't mean that grown men and women can't learn new tricks or new behaviors. And it doesn't mean that grown men and women can't become more than they are. And it doesn't mean that force or pressure being used for education or self-betterment or betterment of another is the wrong way. Sometimes it is the right way. And it doesn't need to be excessive force. Usually it just needs to be pressure in the right moment in time on the right area. More like a chiropractic adjustment force than a sledgehammer abusing and violating somebody's force. Thus far, I feel like kind of like I failed at, if I lose Peachy, if I'm going to lose her all the way, if I'm losing her, I feel kind of like a failure that I didn't teach her the gospel better. I feel like a failure that I didn't teach her truth a little bit better. I didn't teach her selflessness better. I tried to talk to her about equal scales model of justice and balance, but I don't think she really got it. I think the only thing she got was the parts that she thinks she could use and on her own, or use to help manipulate further quick gains on her own. I don't think she really caught the truth of it. And I take that as a failure on my part as a teacher or as an educator or as a mentor or a leader or an enlightener. I failed to enlighten the world of Peachy because I didn't meet her at her level and successfully and effectively communicate truths that are the most important truths to communicate. She missed me. And so I guess I should receive that as a failure to reveal myself in the right way. And I guess that's really sad. I didn't want to lose her. I didn't want to lose Kathy either. But I have failed to communicate truths to the women, or I have successfully communicated them and they've just deliberately chose not to wear the burden of responding or changing. That is technically a possibility. It is kind of hard for me to know which way they went. It's sometimes I make excuses for their bad behaviors. That it was because I feel like, here's why I do that. I do that because if I feel like if I would have succeeded at communicating empathy, that they wouldn't fuck me over. Because if they actually understood that loving your enemy is loving yourself, that we are all one, that you can't hurt other pieces of humanity without measuring out equally a shitty future destiny to yourself, I feel like they wouldn't hurt me like they've done through rejecting and abandoning me. And so because I feel and I believe that if I would have correctly and fully and effectively taught them empathy and love and the truth of Christianity, that they wouldn't have hurt me, which technically actually is true. If they fully understood it, they wouldn't do that. Because I believe that, I see it as being a shortcoming on my part to install in them comprehensive, holistic, full empathy and love. That is how I view it.